Welcome to our Holocaust Memorial Day Assembly, which is being presented by your school captains. January 27th is Holocaust Memorial Day. Holocaust Memorial Day is a day each year when we remember the 6 million Jewish people who were systematically persecuted and murdered by the Nazis and their collaborators during the Holocaust.
Why January the 27th? The 27th of January is the day Auschwitz-Birkenau, the largest Nazi death camp, was liberated.
Susan Pollock. Susan grew up in Hungary and experienced anti-Semitism from a young age. In 1944, Susan went to Auschwitz-Birkenau, where she was separated from her family. After the war, she found out that more than 50 of her relatives had been killed, and only she and her brother had survived.
Persecution. On Holocaust Memorial Day, we also remember other groups of people who were persecuted and murdered by the Nazis. These include Roma and Sinti people, sometimes referred to as gypsies, disabled people, gay people, Jehovah's Witnesses, political opponents, and many others.
Genocides around the world. After the Holocaust, the world said never again. But humanity has failed to learn lessons from the Holocaust, and genocides continue to happen around the world to this day. On Holocaust Memorial Day, we remember the millions of men, women and children who have been murdered in the genocides which followed in Cambodia, Rwanda, Bosnia and Darfur.
Eric Eugene Murangwa. Eric played for Kigali's top football team during the genocide in Rwanda. His fellow players protected him from the killing. Today, Eric runs an organisation which uses football to promote tolerance, unity and reconciliation in the UK and Rwanda.
What is genocide? Genocide is when a group of people is targeted for destruction just because of who they are, such as their race or religion.
The 10 stages of genocide. Genocide does not happen out of the blue. It is a result of prejudice and persecution which sees a group treated differently from the rest of society. On Holocaust Memorial Day, we are reminded of what can happen when prejudice and persecution are left unchallenged, and of our responsibilities to stand against these processes when we see them in our own communities. This image shows the 10 stages of genocide and helps us to know what warning signs to look out for. The stages may occur simultaneously or in a different order.
What happens on Holocaust Memorial Day? Across the UK, thousands of local events and activities take place every year. In schools, communities, libraries, prisons, museums and galleries, in faith groups and many more. These activities include candle lightings, performances, art projects, readings, talks and much more. Each event is an opportunity for people to reflect on the lives of people affected by genocide and to challenge prejudice, discrimination and hatred in our own society today.
Why is this important to us? People are still discriminated against today because of their religion, their race, their sexuality, or another element of their identity. Whilst we are not at immediate risk of genocide here in the UK, hate speech and prejudice are frequently seen online, and the number of hate crimes recorded each year has been increasing.
What can we do? On the screen are lots of ideas of things that individuals, groups and schools have done in the past to mark Holocaust Memorial Day and remember the people murdered. By holding this assembly, we are already doing something to mark the day, learn about genocide and remember all those affected. Do you have any ideas of something else you would like to do?
Holocaust Memorial Day. Let us all today commit to do something ourselves, in your class or as a school, to mark Holocaust Memorial Day and stand up against prejudice. Let's find out about where a genocide is taking place, learn about those affected by it, and tell others what we learn.
Auschwitz by Charles N. Whitaker. The semi-quaver chugging of the train on the track, and the people on board who will never go back, and the terror in the eyes of all the young ones to go, with no one knowing as the train comes to slow. Those men at the station as the ramps drop down, where humanity lost is the only crippled sound. Hope gone for those who stand behind the hard, sharp wire, and the smoke in the towers rises just a little higher. And the blue ink stabs a little harder in the skin, above the veins of despair where murder let it in. and the terror in the eyes of all those about to leave. Another train on the track, no last-minute reprieve. And the slow, crotchet chugging of the train on the track, and the people on board who will never go back.
Your voice is amazing. Never forget the power we all have to stand up and speak out against hatred and prejudice today.